Hello everybody. It's been a while, hasn't it? So, quick life update for those who might care. I went through a lot during my mini hiatus. October was a mess for me. November was extremely busy. My birthday was on the 1st and I went to a concert on the 7th. I'm officially 19 now, which is very fun, very cool. I also got sucked into a Roblox game and started farming on it consistently for weeks, which I don't want to talk about that. It's very uncool. It's very loser behavior. I know. And then December... I have no idea since I'm writing this at 3 a.m. on the 29th. Spoiler alert, December was pretty bad. So is January so far. So yeah, your least favorite art YouTuber went through a lot. You probably don't care about that, so editor Nick, please add a timestamp for people to skip this section. Thank you. Anyway, welcome back to Design with me. I think we're on episode 6 now. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I'm too lazy to check, but we got another special episode on our hands, and I'm very excited about it. Like, I've been wanting to do this for months, so let's get into it. Let's get into the nitty-gritty, starting with a dumb little backstory. As some of you may or may not know, before I was an OC artist, I was a Gacha Life creator. I used to make edits, I used to make comics, I was once featured on the official Luname Games page when I was like 12 years old, and I did a whole lot more. This is all very ancient Vampstal lore that I want to share in the future someday, but for now, we're focusing on a specific thing I had during 2020. And that specific thing was a group of Gacha OCs that I've abandoned for about 3 years now. I'd like to introduce you all to Elliot, Rupert, and Clara. They all used to be my personas, and they helped me a lot with not only finding my identity as a non-binary trans guy, but they also helped me a ton with my writing and drawing skills. From that alone, I'm sure you can tell these three hold a very special place in my heart, and for a long time, I've been wanting to reuse them and redesign them, but never got the chance to do so until now. I just couldn't find a way to incorporate them into my newer projects. After all, these three used to have their own universe and their own story. I just grew out of it and couldn't figure out what world would suit them until I made Alagadda. And if you don't know what Alagadda is, you might want to watch this entire series to figure it out. So, with that in mind, let's stop the yapping and start the designing with Mrs. Elliot. Elliot LaMonte, also known as Elliot Campbell, is a love orc who resides in the Light District. Much like most of my adult OCs so far, Elliot is a teacher. She works part-time at a local elementary school. She teaches kids English, she's a housewife, and, well, she's a darling. Before we discuss more about that, I'd just like to admit that Elliot's redesign has been in my vault ever since episode 4 of this series. So, it's been a few months now, and as of writing this, I only finished her today. Or yesterday, since it's 3 a.m. right now. Oopsies. And mind you, like I said in the last segment, I've been planning to redesign her and her family for a long time now, but her concept art being ready for months wasn't a part of my plan. I thought I wasn't ready to tackle her until I stumbled upon something, and well, things went downhill from there. This is really stupid and is probably not a good thing to base your characters off of, but I saw online discourse about trans characters, specifically trans characters that are like me who haven't medically transitioned or present themselves in a gender non-conforming manner. I saw a lot of people bashing these characters, saying they're transphobic caricatures and they shouldn't be encouraged, despite, you know, the fact trans people like that exist and we shouldn't be erased just because our appearance makes you uncomfortable. Like, I don't know. Like, tell me how I stumbled upon so many trans folks bashing the most gorgeous trans femme character ever just because she had very light stubble. Like, I'm sorry, what? I hate that. I really do, and I was so mad about it that I was like, that's it, I'm redesigning Elliot and turning her into a goddess with light facial hair. No one can stop me, especially not these ridiculous trans medicalists who have extreme insecurity. Fuck them! And that, my dear viewers, is how Elliot got her redesign. I'm so sorry for that rant, but it's pretty important to redesign process, so I can't ignore it. During Elliot's concept phase, I knew she was gonna look different compared to her original design, like, drastically different. After all, I wanted to scrap most of her features aside from her red hair and her blue eyes, since I thought they really defined her physical appearance. Minus the gray skin, which I don't understand. Why did I give her that skin tone? I have no idea. So, with that information in the back of my mind, I started searching references for Elliot. I wanted her to look very motherly and pretty, which made me think of Rose Quartz from Steven Universe. A beautifully written character, in my opinion, who has one of the best designs in cartoon history ever. Although, I'm biased about that, so don't come for me. I know I'm factually wrong, so if you disagree with me, that's fine. We can still be friends. Anyway, one of the things that I adore about Rose Quartz is her hair. She has very big, elegant curls, and I thought Elliot would look amazing with that hairstyle, and I was right. I'm very happy with her hair. I think it turned out beautiful in both the concept art and final art, and it's just so good. It's really hard to draw, but it's so worth it. After figuring out Elliot's hair situation, I took a bit of time to figure out how I wanted her clothes to look like and how I wanted her overall vibe to be like. I decided it would be best to give her a sense of gentleness and modesty. I wanted her to have a very flowy, floral vibe, since I think characters like that just give off a very comforting aura, and that's consistent with Elliot being motherly. The next reference I used for her was actually mentioned in the last episode, and that's the magnificent Creamy Camellia set from Lolita Wardrobe. It's all coming full circle, baby. No one saw that foreshadowing coming at all. But yeah, this dress is absolutely gorgeous, and is basically what I wanted Elliot to wear. I wanted her to have a long-sleeve blouse, a long skirt with lace trims, as well as a shawl. I took the most inspiration from the shawl, though. I really like the flower pattern it has, and I had to steal it. Honestly, I was tempted to steal the whole outfit, but that seemed a little too lazy, so I didn't do that. And since I already mentioned the long skirt, the next reference I used was Lyrica Matoshi's iconic strawberry dress. I have a lot of history with this particular dress. I love strawberries, they're my favorite fruit. If I'm having dessert and strawberry is an available flavor or topping, I'm picking that dessert immediately. When I found out about the strawberry dress, I was so obsessed with it, and I still am. I drew Elliot in it before, actually. It took me 10 hours straight to finish it, and ever since, it's become tradition for me to draw my most favorite OCs in this dress. It's like the biggest badge of honor a Vamsel character can have. I've drawn it on Ray and Lawrence before, Joey as well. I plan on doing it with the rest of their polycule someday, and I thought it would be sweet if I gave Elliot's main look a strawberry pattern somewhere. It's kind of like to say she was the OG character that gave me extreme brain rot. And oh, once you look at that, I'm already at 1,000 words into this segment. Usually, I end it here, but I have so much to share, and since Elliot means a lot to me, I'm gonna let myself ramble a little more, so let's continue. Besides the fact I find floral characters to be comforting, Elliot's original and current backstory has a lot to do with nature. As a child, she lived with her grandparents in the nature district, and her whole family basically owns lots of farms, orchards, flower shops, that sort of thing, and I wanted to reference that in her appearance by giving her and her whole family specific flowers. These specific flowers are sunflowers, daisies, and marigolds. I picked sunflowers to represent Elliot's loyalty to her loved ones, as well as the fact she's a tall ball of sunshine. Very stereotypical, I know. The daisies are meant to represent new beginnings and motherhood. That one's self-explanatory. And the marigolds are just there for the aesthetic. I actually kinda hesitated with giving Elliot's design marigolds, because I usually see these flowers being used for mourning or Dia de los Muertos, but I caved since, ooh, pretty flower. But yeah, I think that's about it. It was an absolute delight redesigning Elliot, and I love her so much. She's so pretty. She's one of my prettiest characters yet. I definitely prefer her new design rather than her old one. The old one just seems a little tacky to me, and it's outdated, and yeah. To briefly summarize her personality, Elliot's a very stereotypical mom. She's sweet, she's patient, she loves taking care of kids, she's a great cook and baker, she has domestic hobbies in general, and like I said in the beginning, she's a darling. Shout out to HRT for saving her. You're a real one. Oh, and by the way, I forgot her earrings. She's meant to have earrings and I can't be bothered to add them in. I'm sorry. Let's move on before this gets any longer. Rupert Edward Lamont is a necro-fairy who resides in the Light District. He's Elliot's husband, and he works at a magic antique shop in the Undercity. And yeah, you heard that right. He works at a magic antique shop his family has owned for eons. You thought he was gonna be a teacher, didn't you? You thought he educates kids just like his wife, huh? Well, joke's on you, he's not. Get wrecked. Rupert's redesign is very extreme, I'm sure you can tell. When I started working on him, the first thing I wanted to change was his physical appearance. I just don't like how he originally looked. Not to say his old design was bad or ugly, cause he looks cute. Don't get me wrong. I just think the e-boy look he had isn't satisfactory anymore. I thought that look would no longer fit him since I turned him into a 40-year-old man. And I'm sorry, but I can't imagine Gacha Twink Rupert to live past 23. So yeah, I blackwashed my character, quote unquote. I made him an Afro-French diva. I'm so sorry for this transgression, chat. I'm just as bad as whitewashers who do whitewashing with malicious intent. I've really fallen off, haven't I? I need to stop with rants and snarky remarks. I'm so sorry. I'm in a hateful mood right now, and it's not okay. I need to calm down. I think bro's missing his commentary era. No, I'm not. Anyway, oddly enough, I was struggling to imagine how new Rupert would look like. I had a solid idea for him, but I couldn't visualize it properly, and it was really annoying. So, as a solution, I logged onto Roblox and booted up Royale to figure out his general facial features and hairstyle. I knew I wanted to keep his brown hair and green eyes, but I wanted to give him more sharper features, as well as more texture to his hair. So I did that, and he looks gorgeous. I also took a bit of inspiration from the Steampunk skirt in Royale for his tuxedo tail, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's probably just a skirt at this point. I don't know, so apologies for that. I also found this gorgeous blouse on Pinterest, and I cannot, for the life of me, find the source of it. All I've seen so far are people reposting the image without credit, so if you know where this is from, please let me know in the comments. Thank you. And if it's AI, I'm going to... But basically, I used this blouse as a reference for Rupert's sleeves, and I really adore how it came out. I like the pearls on it, I like the overall shape of it. It looks like I bedazzled his old outfit, and it's great. That's kind of what I was going for anyway, so I'm happy with what I came up with. Honestly, the only thing I was unsatisfied with was Rupert's old physical appearance, hence why I changed it immediately. I think his original attire, well, too simple for my current taste, is great. It does what it's intended to, which is to convey his air of mystery and elegance because he's a posh man and I want to hit him with hammers and leave him stranded on the top of the Eiffel Tower. I need to calm down. I say all those threats because while I'm happy with his new design, Rupert was an absolute pain in the ass to draw. His concept art was fine. I didn't really struggle with it since it's a chibi. Chibis don't require much detail and I had references to help me out. What really made me frustrated was his final art, since his pose was too symmetrical, which I'm not used to, and his face is really hard to get right. It's difficult for me to draw sharp faces, because I feel like if you miss a single pixel with the cheekbone placement, it looks so weird and the whole face looks off and I hate drawing bisexual men. Why have all my bisexual male characters been a pain to draw? But anyway, yeah, I had an awful time drawing Rupert's face, but I will admit, it was fun rendering him. I also love drawing his hair. I really love drawing hair like his. It's very easy and therapeutic for me to do. It was also a delight working with his color palette. I'm really satisfied with it, especially the tones of gray I used on his vest. I think it looks gorgeous, but moving on. Like I said in Elliot's section, I wanted flowers to represent the Campbell and LaMonte families, so I incorporated a few flowers into Rupert's design. Some of it's on his hair, and there's even sunflower lapels on his suit, which I think is adorable. That's probably my favorite detail about him, even if it's small and insignificant. Like, you barely notice them. They're a very subtle detail, but it really ties the whole family together, and I love that. Those lapels are definitely a gift he got from his wife, by the way, so that makes it even cuter, and I love them. I love them so much. They're sweethearts. By the way, peep the flare jeans. I can't stop giving my characters these types of jeans. They just look so pretty, and they add a lot to designs. I know I should probably branch out more and diversify my characters' clothes, but like, I kinda don't care about that at the moment. I'm not gonna lie. I have bigger concerns right now, like posting consistently on YouTube for once, which is never gonna happen, so forget what I said. Let's talk about Rupert again. Rupert is the exact opposite of Elliot in terms of personality and just about anything, really. One is a love orc, the other is a necro fairy. One's sweet and kind, the other is strict and closed off, and this comparison can go on for hours. So basically, they balance each other out and excel in things the other doesn't. Can you tell I really like the opposites attract trope? I'm a sucker for it. I love it so much. I need more of it. Please. Honestly, I didn't give enough love to Rupert back in 2020, but he's the type of character I relate to the most. So I'm really happy that I got to redesign him and reuse him for a new project. I think his new design is awesome, he looks handsome, he looks great. Again, he's a pain to draw, but what's new? I keep rambling in this video. I'm gonna stop now before it gets worse. Let's just move on and talk about Clara. Clara Marie, also known as just Clara LaMonte, is a living doll created by Rupert. She was made with the use of his necromancy abilities, and the base for her creation was a wind-up ballerina figurine. It's important to note this figurine has been owned by Elliot ever since she was a child, so yeah, cool stuff. Clara currently has no elemental powers since she's only 12 years old, and from everything I've said so far, I'm sure you can tell Clara is a very lore-heavy character, and I can't be vague about it since it's a part of her design. Just like her parents, she got a drastic remake, but I'd argue her biggest change was her lore and her importance to the LaMonte story. She used to be a simple side character I would project my childhood onto, so she was very bland. I didn't draw her much. I barely even mentioned her on social media. She's extremely irrelevant compared to her parents, and I can't stand that anymore, so I rewrote her completely before I worked on her new design. Also, fun fact, Clara was so unimportant that I don't remember her original name. Clara Marie was a name I came up with just recently. Like, I did not give a damn about this character at all. I've neglected her for so long and I feel so bad about it, but anyway. I didn't use many references for Clara. All I really used for her design were these 2 dresses I found Undevil inspired. The pictures of them, as well as the brands that created them, should be popping up right now. I can't be bothered to say the names out loud since they're really long, and I know I'm gonna stutter a lot if I try, so I won't even bother. As you can tell, I sort of just mixed these 2 dresses together to make Clara's outfit. I wasn't feeling all too inventive with her look, but I'm still satisfied with how she came out. I think her concept art is so stinking cute, and she's super fun to draw. Her new design is meant to be a mashup of Rupert and Elliot, like she's one of those love children artists would come up with in the early fandom ages. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I'm saying too many words right now and my brain's melting. I'm really tired. I keep sleeping at 3 a.m. at night. Kill me. Anyway, I thought a love child approach to Clara's design would be appropriate considering this family's cringe-worthy origins. So with that in mind, I gave her Elliot's hair color, I gave her Rupert's skin tone and facial features, I also gave her Elliot's barely visible white freckles. I thought that would be a fun detail to add, and yeah. There were a lot of things I wanted to give Clara, actually. Like, I wanted to give her Elliot's tusks, but it didn't really work out. I was also playing around with her skin tone and a different canvas, but again, it didn't work out. So I just stuck with the list of details I mentioned, and boom! Another blackwash, completely different character. Oh no! Honestly, the only thing that they didn't change about Clara in this remake was her personality and the color palette for her outfit. I really adore the black and purple combo she had back then, and it would be weird if I changed that. Like, she's already a completely different person. The least I can do is keep her outfit colors, you know? Oh, also, peep the flowers. You already know the explanation to those, so I'm not gonna repeat myself. Moving on. There's another important detail to Clara's design that I need to explain before I forget. You may have noticed Clara has gold marks around her body. That is meant to be a reference to kintsugi. Kintsugi is a form of Japanese art where you repair broken things with gold, silver, etc. You usually do this with pottery and porcelain, and I thought it would be fun to incorporate parts of this art form to Clara as a way to show her creation process and how it wasn't perfect. She's flawed, she has a lot of cracks, and she even has an eye missing, but Rupert and Elliot, like the doting parents that they are, decided to fill those cracks with real gold to show how important their daughter is, and how, no matter how imperfect she is, they love her unconditionally and cherish her existence every day. It's very cheesy lore, but I personally adore it, especially because people that were born from necromancy are looked down upon in Alagadda. Filling Clara's cracks in with gold is just so sweet with that in mind, and I can go on and on about it for hours, but again, my brain is melting. I can't do that. We're almost at the end of the video already, and this is usually where my motivation drops, so if this section is a mess, I'm so sorry. I can't change that. I tried, but my motivation drops even more, so we're sticking with this. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Overall, I'm very happy with Clara. I know I already said this earlier, but she truly was a fun character to draw and redesign. Out of the whole family, she's definitely the one I found least stressful to create. She was a blank slate, and I had so much freedom in rewriting her and making her less boring. It just made the process so much nicer and smoother, unlike, say, her dumbass father Rupert, where I was losing my mind. Personality-wise, Clara's just your typical sweet kid. She's just like her mother. She's super kind and patient, but she's definitely more outgoing than her parents. She likes helping Rupert out in the antique shop, by the way. She sometimes bakes and cooks with Elliot when she allows her to, and I think that's about it. I feel like I missed some things, but I've yapped enough. We're ending it here. We're done. It's over. Insert seamless transition here. hope this video was entertaining, educational. I don't know. All I know is I had so much fun making this episode, despite the delays and struggles I went through. Again, I'm so sorry if this was a mess. I haven't written a script in months, and my brain is rotting rapidly as we speak. Maybe farming 100 levels a day in Royale High was a bad idea. Maybe that affected my brain chemicals a bit. I don't know. Who would have guessed? Anyway, let me know what you think about today's designs. Do you guys like the LaMonte family? Do you like their redesigns, or do you prefer their old ones? Let me know in the comments. I'm very curious and would love to know. But also, if you prefer the old designs, I'm hitting you with a metal pipe. Jokingly. I'm joking. I would never hurt or threaten my viewers. Pretend I said none of that. I didn't mean that. But also, I would absolutely hit all of you with a metal pipe. Expect more design content soon. Next installment might be another 2-character special with Lawrence's siblings, so look out for that. Have a good week, everyone. I hope you all had wonderful holidays. I don't know when I'm posting this, but I'll see you whenever I reemerge from my coffin. For now, goodbye.